right. Hello, everyone. I'm Nicholas Waln. I'm with Bancorus, and I'm here to talk to you today about what we believe at Bancorus is the future of wealth management. So, with crypto. Let's see, is this one? There we go. So, I myself have grown up around the financial industry. My grandfather actually owns a traditional investing company. So, I am very familiar with traditional investing methods and traditional ways of doing things. However, we're not here to talk about traditional ways of doing things. So, one of the questions that I've heard several times is what is the most dominant fintech software in the world? Does anyone want to guess? Anyone want to guess what the most dominant fintech software in the world is currently, right now? Bitcoin? No, it's actually Excel, interestingly enough. You would think that it would be something more cutting edge, but no, there's tons and tons and tons of Excel documents everywhere with spreadsheets, with data files everywhere. Excel has been around for years and years and years, and that's what people are using. So currently, financial software and there's billions of Excel documents everywhere. Has it? I've joked with my friends that really all you need to learn in college half the time is Excel, how to use Excel. Most businesses, most companies, that's what you use. And most companies, such as my grandfather's and many others, use very, very traditional pre-internet tools. They have paper printouts, they have documents, they have lots of very traditional ways of going about things, and it's not necessarily effective. And that means the middleware is humans, that we have to go around and go not generating and seeking after different things, but not generating new value. So we're not taking our time to actually build new value, build where we need to. Instead, we're just running around trying to find documents, trying to find files, entering input into Excel, etc. So, but why would we bother to change this? I mean, the financial system has been around for quite some time. I mean, Excel has been around for forever. I mean, it's been around for longer than some people I know. So why would we bother changing this? You may ask. Well, we believe that Excel and these types of traditional methods aren't very effective. And I mean, if you're here, you probably believe blockchain is the future. And a big reason is back in 2008, there was the financial crash. People lost faith in the financial system. Millions of people lost their jobs. In fact, I have the numbers that in the month of November alone, 533,000 people lost their jobs, with in 1 month, $22 trillion in total world economy loss. That's huge. And besides the financial loss, besides the loss of people's jobs and livelihood, there was a huge loss of trust. And what happened is that we think at Bancorus that we want to gain that trust again. We want people to be able to trust the financial system. We want to be able to show that we believe that people can actually have a way that we can be accountable. We can actually have transparency in the system, and things are managed in a much more efficient, open way that you're not able to, lose all that trust that you had before. So in traditional wealth management, there's the client, and the client then will talk to the relationship manager. That's very straightforward. But the relationship manager has talked to the CIO, and CIO has talked to them, and they have to go to Quant to get data, and then Quant has to talk to them. Relationship manager then has to go to compliance and administration, and then back to the relationship manager. So this is running around in circles, circles, circles. So instead of just client talking to the relationship manager and then they get things sorted, it's back and forth, back and forth. And again, it's people not generating new value. They're simply running around trying to get things done. So you can back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Let's see. However, what we believe a system that is much more effective would simply be have all these services in one place. So simply Bancorus would take all the people, all the high net worth individuals, whoever wants to invest, and they simply go directly through an API, a service, with or without the relationship manager, and they can go to the CIO, the product, the compliance, it's all there in one package. So there's no more generating, reports. They have to go back and forth to different departments. It's simply generated all in one place. So the World Economic Forum has said that in 2027, 10% of world GDP will be in digital assets. 10% of the world GDP will be in crypto. That's the World Economic Forum, which is very conservative. I mean, I don't have to tell you that I think that most of us here believe that probably be a lot more than that. I mean, I'm more bullish to believe that it would probably be a lot more. But in 2027, so that's 10 years from now, 10% of world assets will be in crypto. And so how, though, will we get there? How will we get from, the current stack, which is not that much, which is just 750 million USD, to 10 trillion USD? Well, we believe at Bancoris that the key to that shift will be high net worth individuals. High net worth individuals, we believe that this is for several reasons. High net worth individuals, let's see, they have, obviously, by their definition, the access to money. So they have a lot of money, they have the access to it. And another thing is that they in themselves have a lot of equity, and they have a lot of assets that they can invest in and they can use to shift in the currency. They also are traditionally adopters of new technology. That's very standard. They're traditionally the first shakers and movers into new technology. However, right now, currently, high net worth individuals' global net worth is $63.5 trillion. But right now, they only have about 50 billion USD in crypto assets. That's very small proportion. But why is that? Why aren't they adopting cryptocurrencies? So we believe in our solution to give high net worth individuals access to crypto, that the challenges are that they can't access crypto easily. For those of you who know that crypto is not very easy to get the wallets, the different payments, the onboard from fiat currency into the cryptocurrency, and then which cryptocurrency, which exchange do you use, et cetera, et cetera. It's very convoluted to like the average person. And I mean, in Europe here, the average high net worth individual may be 70 years old. So it's not something they've grown up with. It's not something that's maybe an easy learning curve for them. Plus, the relationship manager or their wealth manager may not be wanting to learn that process, or may not know or understand that process. So that's a very difficult onboarding system, as well as it's a very costly, high-touch process. It has to, as I said, right now there's lots of documents, there's lots of pre-internet tools, and they have to go through all this paperwork to get there. Plus, currently, cryptocurrencies have very inconsistent reporting standards. They can't look at their net worth and easily print out a report that says this is what you have, this is all your assets, this is what it's used in, etc., etc. You can't report on it very efficiently. Likewise, there's very data breach risks that you can easily lose your key, you can lose your wallet, you can get hacked, and people aren't very secure. They're worried about privacy. There's lots of concerns there. Finally, there's high compliance costs. The laws aren't very clear if you're in the EU versus in the US versus where are you? Like, is it a security token? Is it a utility token? What am I investing in? What taxes are there? So there's very high compliance costs. So we believe that these are the biggest challenges that for high net worth individuals. So our solution that we believe that is the most effective is, I said, is to provide these all in one place. So at Bancoris, what we do is we provide a market that people can buy and sell security tokens that you can access, that you'll be able to access all of the marketplace that you have access to. So if you're in the US, if you're in Australia, if you're in the EU, wherever, that you can access a listing of security tokens you have access to and do it all in a legal system. Likewise, you can tokenize illiquid assets to turn into liquid assets. So for instance, if you have a house and you want to use that house to put on the market, you can tokenize it. Same with any other piece of real estate, or let's say you have a painting, and then you want to tokenize that, and you believe it will appreciate over time. Likewise, if you have a vintage car, you're a car collector, you want to do the same. So you can tokenize those assets and turn them into liquid assets. Finally, you can loan. So you can loan those assets out. So you have, again, a car, let's say you want to put a loan on it. And in cryptocurrencies, you can do that. So, but you can do it all in one place. So it's a very one-stop shop method. Similarly, we want to solve those financial fintech things that are generated by this kind of classical systems that are out there, like Excel and traditional print. So you can actually do ID verification. Traditionally, ID verification is very expensive. You have to go through a very long and expensive process, or it's not very straightforward. However, again, to have a very straightforward system that can be generated automatically is what we're after. Likewise, to assess risk, you don't have to go to a risk manager. You don't have to go through different individuals to do assessments of risk, but instead you use an AI protocol like ours that can actually assess the risk based on its learning engine, so that you, again, go into one place, automatically generates a risk report. You can even say, hey, I only want to be a little bit risky, or I only want to, just put a minimum amount of risk, or I want to go all in. I want to be as risky as possible. That's a solution as well. So finally, there's B report, which you can accurately keep track of current historical assets performance, and you can just print out all of your assets in one place. So it solves, again, the problem of reporting standards, that there's a consistent reporting standard that's generated, again, by the platform, the AI that's there. So here we have that, just I'll briefly say that our AI-powered software that we've had for several years, because we started in 2013, has created, you can create financial plans and portfolios that's customized to high net worth individuals. So it basically generates those all in one place. So you're no longer having Excel documents, spreadsheet, printed out document. You actually have a financial planning engine that does it all. And again, it doesn't replace the financial manager. It doesn't replace that person, but they work with it. So you don't have to go between departments and between different people. Likewise, there's a risk engine that I just talked about. So it can calculate, I want to have a high risk, I want to have a low risk, and it does it all right there in one place. Finally, the portfolio engine. We actually made China's first robo-advisor plan that can do the analytics for that. That was also back in 2013. So I'll talk quickly about our story. So in 2013, we were first founded under the name Mitsai. Mitsai means the god of wealth in Chinese. And we started out back then, but over the years we've had investing, and we've been really trying to change the financial industry to be more efficient, more modern in its approach, using these methods that we've talked about. And we started out with traditional wealth investing, and we've been doing that since that's still alive. Currently, we have over 200,000 high net worth individuals in China and some other parts of the world that use our software to use this very one-stop shop approach to traditional wealth management. So in the past year, we've been pivoting, however, as Bankoris, to use crypto-based wealth management on the blockchain with security tokens, because we believe security tokens are the future. Security tokens are the third step evolution of cryptocurrencies, because, as many would say, technology evolves in three waves. So we have the first wave, which was Bitcoin, and then the second wave, which became more Ethereum and all the ICOs that are going on now. And we believe the third wave will really be security tokens. So that will be your way of investing. So in Beijing, we have, these are just some of the team members in Beijing, that we have the founder Greg and Eagle in the middle, and we have a young yet diverse staff, mostly Chinese, as you can see, but who are based there. Our executive team is Greg, Eagle are the co-founders. They have quite a bit of experience in wealth management and fintech. And Flora is our marketing manager, and we have several other officers and consulting. Some of our advisors include Roland Berger, Sebastian, and currently clients that I talked about here. We have several clients, including Noah, Org Wealth, and others. And as I said, we've been investing for quite some time, so we know kind of what we're talking about in terms of this. So yeah, Bankoris, all your wealth managed, held in security tokens. So yeah, join us on Telegram. If you have any questions. Yeah. Yeah.
So we we find that there's a lot of investor education that needs to be done.
Yeah,
So how are you finding that? How's that going? And how
yeah,
much
yeah.
hand holding are you having to do?
Well, with traditional wealth management, we've obviously I said we've been investing with people for a while, so
Yeah,
we have actually a lot of connections and stuff. So when it comes to new investors, we have a pretty experienced team. So it's pretty easy to talk to them and say like, hey, like this is what we have to do, and it's because we have an existing API and a platform with traditional wealth management.
yeah,
It's we can show them that we can actually show them how things go, and our vision is to be very open and transparent. We believe that because of the 2008 crisis, like that was a big problem, not being open and transparent. So to be able to be as open and transparent as possible, I think has helped that process. Be able to talk to them and show them the engine, show them how it works. And in our white paper, we even talk about the algorithms we use, and it's open source. So
and do they get that? And do they want to know about tokenomics, or do they just want to know about return, or how do you
yeah.
walk them through that?
Well, most people actually want to know about tokenomics
Okay.
because I think it's really interesting. I know that a lot of people, especially in the Middle East, are moving in on
Yeah.
tokenizing real estate assets.
Hmm.
There's some in Dubai and I
Yeah.
believe in Germany. It's a very interesting emerging field. So most people are drawn to that. I mean, some think like, oh, well, tokenizing my house, you're doing loans, but and like doing this types. They think of the financial crisis, but then we say like, no, but if we were instead of what was the existing banks managing this, if we were this type of platform was managing this, it would be very open and people would see what was going on. So we think the opposite would have happened. But of course, hindsight, right? But
And uh, okay, I've got one more then with
yeah,
you.
of course.
Are we just seeing the beginning of high net wealth investment?
Oh yes, I believe so. I think that right now, just the whole point is that the process is so difficult for them to get into right now. And some of them, even though traditionally high net worth individuals are movers and shakers or investors in new technology, that right now it's kind of uncertain what's going on in the crypto space.
Hmm.
And I think that with having a platform that's very reliable, that's very on board with laws and regulations, and that has all that set up, that it will put people at ease and allow them to have access to it in a way that they really don't right
Yeah,
now. So
awesome, cool. So
yeah,
I don't know if you guys had a question. Did you? Otherwise, yeah. Okay,
yeah,
thanks. Shout it out.
yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. So first of all, we have because tokenization of assets is a very developing field. We're right now that we're still working with partners to develop that. Um, there are some cases I know in Dubai, I believe, in the Middle East. I can't remember the specifics off the top of my head. I could look them up and we could talk about them eventually. But what it would happen is that when they tokenize the asset, you have a certain amount of tokens and percentage of it. So like you have a really nice house, let's say, or like an apartment. I'm sorry, or like in Manhattan, and you want to tokenize it, and I want to invest in that apartment, so I can own 1% of that. So once you sell it, eventually, let's say like you decide to sell it eventually, and now I get that 1% return from that investment. So it's really like that. So you still own the house, and just you divide up how much you own it based on the tokens that are sold based on that. And it's a security token. Pretty much what we do is security tokens. We believe security tokens are the future. We're very firm on that, and we fall into line in all the security token. Yeah, it's really security tokens. So it's usually tokenizing your liquid assets and the liquid assets. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's really that. So as I said, security tokens we believe are the future. So Well, I mean, a lot of them are in China right now. I mean, a lot of our current customers from Meatsai are in China, and we have a lot of connections there. However, we're focused on Asia Pacific EU, and so we have those kind of primary like regions that we're looking at. Yep.
Cool. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
All right. Thank you.
Very interesting. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.